Hi, my name is Eric Stasio, and I am a Master's of Education, Secondary Education, focus in math uh, major at Grand Canyon University, and this is my video response to the Dispositions in Teaching prompt that we were given. Uh, as such, there are multiple dispositions that teachers should have and should work on developing as their career continues. One of these, well, the couple that I believe I possess the best currently are, I believe that all students can learn. One of my undergraduate professors, one of his favorite phrases, or a paraphrase of his favorite phrase, was everyone can be good at math. It's just that people don't believe they can be. What he meant by that was we, or a lot of people, grow up believing that they aren't good at math until they actually start doing the critical thinking behind it and learn that it's really not that hard. It's just that they didn't want to focus in the class and put in the work to fully understand it. But everyone is capable of math. Most people can drive, you can catch a ball. That's all math that you're doing in your head on the fly without even thinking about it. Anyone can learn to do that on paper too. One of the other things I really want to encourage is curiosity and active learning of my students. Um, Especially with math and sciences, it's not just enough to be able to know the information. It's the question, so how does this apply later? Which for math teachers can kind of be a little bit of a faux pas in the classroom, because that can a lot of the time lead to the teacher giving a blank stare. But the idea is it's encouraging kids to go from this is what we're learning to this is why we're learning it, this is what I can do with it, this is why it's important to learn this. A couple of dispositions I should work on though. Um, the diversity and social needs of students, primarily the social needs. Uh, I myself am primarily an introvert, so getting up and leading people, trying to connect with them personally, isn't always the easiest and most natural thing for me to do. But that is something I am definitely working on, especially now that I am, at least for this term, teaching the high school Sunday morning class. There's a lot of kids that came from different backgrounds from me. A lot of them have recently joined the church within the last few years, whereas I was raised in the church. So that's a different background, and they don't have necessarily the same way of thinking or same level of information that I had when I was their age. Also, going back to the introvert thing, being friendly, warm, caring, that's not something I'm necessarily good at. Uh, I have friends that I've had for a long time, but it takes me a little while to get to that point with some people. And I can also come off a little bit harsh or uncaring, but in reality, I would do almost anything for my friends. It's just that it takes time for me to get to warm up to people, and some people it takes time for them to warm up to me as well. But overall, just continuing to work on being a friendly and caring person is something I am already working on. In terms of what a professional should look like, they should try and be as clean cut as possible, or as clean cut as is necessary at a minimum. Um, some schools will require men to be clean shaven, shorter hair. It's just depending on the environment that they're in. And some schools are going to have a much stricter uh, enforcement of this than others. But overall, they should strive to be at a minimum what the school requires as a minimum, and if at all possible, exceed that when they can. Also, teachers should strive for um, their standard when they interact with students, parents, other teachers. They should be looking for the success of the students, not just on the immediate test they're going to be taking next week, although all of your students getting A's because they understood the material well is good. The idea is that they can use that information in the long term to live successful lives past the time that they are out of school, because statistically we only spend the first 18 years or 18 of our early years in school, and then we move on, and now people are living on average past their 70s, meaning you spend a very small amount of your actual life in school, and the rest of it you have to be successful when the teacher's not telling you how to live your life. So those are the things that I believe, and that is my response to this. Thank you for your attention,